if you believe that 2023, the most unbelievably packed year for video games, is starting to wind down, well, think again, at least if you believe the admittedly dubious hype behind multiplayer open world survival horror game The Day Before. But how did this title from a small indie studio become the most wishlisted game on Steam? Will it actually release on December the 7th? Is this lump something I should be worried about? Oh. Sorry, that last one was for my doctor. And most importantly of all, is it all just a massive scam? Well, let's dig in and spill that tea, shall we? The Day Before is the latest project from Singapore-based developer Fntastic, a company there that looked at the word fantastic and thought it could use about 50% less of the first letter of the alphabet. Honestly, it's just such a worrying name for a games company because it looks like they couldn't even finish developing their own name. Fntastic made their debut with 2018's decently received story-driven adventure game Radiant One and followed it up with a more polarising survival title The Wild 8 in 2020. Their third and most recent effort, horror-themed multiplayer hide-and-seek game Prop Night, then dropped the very next year to, well, let's just say less than fantastic reviews. What's unique and highly suspicious about the company is that they pride themselves on being a volunteer-led enterprise, with their website boasting that they utilise the services of more than 200 volunteers, both paid and unpaid, to develop their games. Their philosophy of volunteering page is quite the read. I'll give you one quote here. Whatever you do in life, you have only two choices. Do it willingly or unwillingly. Jesus, alright. I think the key to a cheery About Us section of your website is to not make it sound like the beginning of a hostage negotiation video. The writing of actual game code is a paid position, but other vital aspects of development such as localization are all carried out by individuals who receive no money for their work. Instead, their contributions are compensated with game codes, cool rewards, and, don't laugh, participation certificates. Yeah, good luck asking your landlord if you can pay this month's rent with your laminated Star of the Week award. Naturally, this business model has raised many an eyebrow in the industry, especially for a company which, with this upcoming release, could potentially be making a fair amount of money. The Day Before was first announced in January 2021 with a 5-minute reveal trailer which confirmed the game to be set in a post-apocalyptic United States, ravaged by a deadly virus, with players required to fend off both the ravenous infected and desperate fellow survivors. So far, so every other game you've ever played. With its impressive visuals, seemingly alive open world and fluid, intense combat, the trailer immediately caught the attention of players worldwide. However, a few people did express some skepticism that Fntastic could deliver on the ambition of a project which appeared to be trying to ape both The Last of Us and Tom Clancy's The Division. Now, to be clear, many small teams have proven themselves capable of producing great video games. Just consider the success of Doom, Hollow Knight, Subnautica, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Hades, that's naming just a few. But given The Day Before's numerous delays since that initial reveal, it might just be that Fntastic has bitten off more than they can chew. Sorry, just to explain. In the spirit of Fntastic, I decided to get rid of the H in chew. To be fair, people said this about Lies of P, a Souls-like debut game from a small South Korean development team that looked almost too good to be true. But that game released in September of this year to critical and commercial success, so, perhaps The Day Before can do the same. So, let's be positive, shall we? Perhaps The Day Before can be the same, but those delays don't give me a lot of confidence. We saw additional clips of gameplay later in 2021, revealing both vehicular gameplay and more of the game's expansive environments. In October of that year, the studio set a release date of June 21st, 2022, confirming the game would launch on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Yet a month prior to this date, Fntastic confirmed it would be delayed more than 8 months to March 1st, 2023 due to the decision to migrate the game from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. The developer kept relatively quiet for the rest of 2022, all while players and journalists began to question just how genuine both the game and the developer making it actually were, and criticism began to mount regarding the company's previously mentioned volunteer culture. But in January of this year, Fntastic resurfaced with a statement confirming another 8 months delay. to November 10th, 2023 in an attempt to polish the game, pushing it almost 17 months past its initial planned release date. Though they promised no further delays, on November 1st, just 9 days before it was planned to be released, they again delayed the day before by another month to December 7th, 2023, while adding that it would launch as an unfinished early access release and only on PC, with console versions hitting later at an unspecified date. And so the countdown began once again, with fans waiting to see whether or not the game's 4th release date would actually stick. So today is a very special day because it's the day before is allegedly going to be released. So soon, hopefully, all our questions may finally be answered. The abundance of delays is just one of several issues hanging over the day before though. Back in January, the game was pulled from Steam due to a trademark claim filed by a calendar app, also called The Day Before, which launched back in 2010 and has been downloaded more than 40 million times. Turns out the app holds a trademark for the title The Day Before in many countries, including the United States, China, and the EU. The matter was ultimately resolved behind closed doors, and when Fntastic announced the game's most recent delay, they also told everyone that they had won the trademark dispute, allowing the Day Before Steam page to go back online. This isn't the only thing the game's been accused of copying though, with some players believing that Fntastic plagiarised voiceover narration and distinct visual styles from trailers like Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
The Day Before offers a uniquely reimagined journey into post-apocalyptic MMO open-world survival games like never before.
Welcome to the next generation of open-world adventure.
For all that initial excitement that The Day Before could be gaming's next big MMO, the years since its reveal have built up a powder keg of scepticism around Fntastic's ability to deliver on those promises. The constant delays have turned this project into a bit of a punching bag for the gaming community, all while gaming journalists debate whether it might in fact just be a scam. For many, it's highly plausible that Fntastic has created the most superficially impressive vertical slice of an open world survival game in order to drum up interest, only to drop a feature-devoid turkey a few weeks after Thanksgiving under the guise of a work-in-progress early access release, and then take the money and run for the hills. Will it finally come out? Well, that's assuming, of course, that The Day Before even sticks to the December release date, especially given that the planned public beta was quietly scaled back to only include the volunteers working on the game. Right, to access the beta, please present your Star of the Week certificate. Thank you. But let's be positive, because I do think that the recent change to early access does seem to indicate that The Day Before's 4th release date will actually stick, because they've effectively provided an upfront excuse for a less than stellar launch. As for the potential that it's a scam, well, I think it's far more likely that Fntastic, who again have released 3 not awful games in the past, just failed to appreciate the time, effort and money required to produce a large-scale MMO. Most probably they'll put out a shallow, mediocre, generic offering that hemorrhages its player base within a matter of weeks, enough that the developer never bothers iterating it into a full-fat retail product, and the console versions never even see the light of day. Merry Christmas, by the way. Then again, let's not forget those games which thrived after launching into early access, like Baldur's Gate 3, or games like No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk, which launched about as successfully as one of Elon Musk's rockets, only to meet their full potential via extensive post-release updates. Well, whatever the outcome, it'll certainly be a relief to finally have closure on the matter tomorrow. That's unless there's an 11th hour delay, of course. But even in the highly unlikely event that The Day Before does come out tomorrow and it delivers above and beyond all its expectations, it's destined to be remembered with about as much suspicion as Subway lettuce. Absolutely fantastic work. So that's the story of The Day Before. Will it come out? Won't it come out? But I tell you something that could happen. You could watch more videos on the FGS channel. You could maybe even subscribe. If you are feeling generous, you could smash that like button, which I believe is a technical term, and you could also ring that bell. I'm told that all that stuff really helps us. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I've been Nathan from the Future Game Show, and if you haven't, we're Outside Xbox. Bye.